any kind of an audience, and at least it impresses me that way. How do you feel about your own audience? Are you a little bit amazed by it at times, or taking it for granted, or what do you feel?
I certainly hope I'm not taking it for granted. No, I can continue to be amazed by it. I'm consistently amazed by it, and I'm always blown away by the type of feedback I receive when I hear from people. I just heard from someone the other day who said that he's been thinking about digging a garden in the backyard for a while now, but he's been on the fence about it. He heard a recent interview I did where I was strongly encouraging people to engage in that process, and he said, okay, that's it, I'll do it, and he did it the other day. He just dug out his garden, and he's now growing things back there. So that's the type of feedback that I get on a weekly basis, at the very least, and that's the type of feedback that keeps me going. It's amazing to see that taking place. And there's a lot of things that have to come together, even regardless of levels of talent or whatever. There's a lot of things that have to come together in order to build up that audience, and there has to be a space for that. And I suppose I'm lucky, because when I started 8 years ago, I felt like I was getting into this very late in the game, but I suppose in many ways, better start sooner than later. And after 8 years, it's I would imagine much harder to start a podcast and get it noticed than it was 8 years ago. So I was kind of lucky that way. When I started out, there was less of this going on, at least in this sphere of information dissemination. So I got an early toehold into that space. And
well, that works, but the internet is so competitive that it's what have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
This isn't something where you can sit back and say, well, I've been publishing articles for 8 years, so you got to listen to me. Nobody does that. That doesn't work for anyone. You've got to be able to generate a persistently good product, and it's hard to do. You get some articles that I'm sure you're very proud of, but I'd imagine that you get some others that you think, well, they're okay, but they're nothing amazing. And you have to wonder, because I wonder, I get involved, I'm doing these radio programs, I publish a little blog and the rest of that sort of thing. You can watch it go up and down, and you've got to generate something persistently, day after day after day, week after week after week, at a certain level of quality, maybe a certain slant, and then you can hang on to an audience. But you let it slide for a couple of days, and all of a sudden you're back to where you were a couple of years ago. Competitive, or at least that's my experience.
No, I don't really dispute that. It is a beast that needs to be fed, I guess. Yep. And in that respect, yeah, you're exactly right about that. And certainly people's memories do seem to only stretch to the latest interview, video, or article, or podcast that I've put out. And so, yeah, I certainly feel that phenomenon. But I don't feel particularly stressed by that, because my problem isn't that I don't have enough material or I don't have enough to talk about. My problem is I could do a podcast every single day of my life for the rest of my life, even if everything stopped right now, just based on the information I have right now. I could do it easily because I have so much to talk about. The problem